Good everyone, my name is Graphics. If you look at the right hand side of the screen, you see two given views of a figure, right, in first angle projection. Now we're told to draw the isometric view of these two views, right? How did I know they're in first angle? Because of this symbol you see at the top of the figure here. It shows in the first angle, meaning that this is the front elevation and this is what the plan, right? So first of all, when you hear the word isometric projection, the first thing you should do is to draw your isometric axis. That is, you draw your vertical line this way, draw the vertical line, and draw your z-axis this way, and you draw the x-axis this way. Hope you can see that. So the entire height is given to be, you get it from the elevation, which will be 38 plus 25 plus 64, and that is 127. So I'm going to measure 127 from this point here. So starting from 0 to 127. This is 120, 125, 126, 127 here. Can you see that? And the width here, the length here, is given to be, we have, you see the square here, square of 76, meaning from the center to the other center is symmetrical. Whenever I see any line like this, means that what is in the left, what's in the top is also at the bottom, so it's symmetrical. So it means that from this center to the next center is 76, right? And the radius is 26. So you have 26 in two places. That's okay now. So 26 plus 26 plus 76, that will give us what? 128. So meaning that here is 128, here is 128 because symmetrical. So I'm going to measure my 128 from this point here, from 0 to 128. This is 128 here. Also here, also 128. From 0 to 128. Right? This is 128 here. 128, 20, 128 here. Can you see that? So this is what I just did here. I measured 0 from this point, and I got what I wanted. So we'll move forward, right? So from here, after we've done that, we'll measure that 128, 128. I'm going to take it upward this way. And I'll move it here too. I'll take it upward to this way. Can you see that? So, and I'll come here too. I'll do the needful here. From this point to this point. And from this point to this point. And from this point straight up. Then this point straight up. So this is what we have here, bringing out that shape. Can you see that? Now let's proceed. Now from here to this center point you see here, that means I'm going to measure 38 upward, right? 38 upward from this baseline here. I'll measure 38 upward. So let's do that and see how that goes. So from here, from 0, I'll measure 38 here. After 38, I'll measure 25 also again, from 0 to 25. And the remaining is what? 64. And I'll just form my box, round it this way. Remember, faint line. What I'm taking out. So bring that guy out. So this is what I'm focusing on. Is that taking? I can easily bring it up a little bit so you get to understand what I'm doing. So let me focus on that. Are we together? So now I'm focusing on this 4 points here. What do you notice? The radius is 25. So I'll just measure, I'm talking about this edge here. So let me do the edge all through the figure first of all. So if I should measure 25 on my meter rule, 0 to what? 25. Can you see that? 0 to 25. Is that again? We said I'll now come here. Remember, the thickness from here to here is what? 25. Let's check that again and see. From 0 to 25. Can you see that? And then measure 25 again on my meter rule from this point to this point. This 25. Can you see that? I can place it here. I'm going to mark 25 and I'll mark 25. I'll come again. I will mark 25. I'll come again. I will mark 25. Hope you can see that. And I'll make it form a box. I'll make it do what? Form a box. So when I draw this way, and I'll draw this way too, and I'll close it up. And I'll close it up. Hope you can see that. And I'll do the same thing at this far end, both up and down. So I can easily trace this guy down this way. Here. And trace this guy down this way. Here. Trace this guy down to this way. Here. Just mark here. And you two come down here and mark here. So when I take this to this point, I have this. And this point. I have this. With these two. Hope you can see that I brought out this box. Now before I do the rest, let me show you something. There's a curve here I want to draw. They call it the fillet. The fillet I'll draw here, and also I'll draw a fillet here too. So if I should draw diagonals from here to here, I'll draw diagonals from here to here. Right? So you connect from this point. In fact, I don't have to stress myself too much in that aspect. What I do need is just place it at this end, come to this end, and you draw your arc this way. Come to this end too, place it here, and draw the other arc too. Hope you can see that. So I'll do the same thing at this end too, at every end. So let's repeat the same process all through and see what will happen. So if I should take this and mark it here, and with the same measurement I did here, goes from this point to this point, up to this point here. Then I'll close it up. Hope you can see that. Then bring this one down. Bring this down too. Then you close it up. So what you just simply need to do here is what you're focusing on is this point here. So I'll just join my diagonal this way. Join my diagonal this way. Right? Then I need to get the center line. I can use this as a help to get the center point, or I'll just join the diagonal here this way. This will give me the center here. That is the center. So if I have the center there, I just have to draw a vertical line across and also a horizontal line too across this way. Right? So the same thing too will happen here too. In that center point, I'll draw this place. So I'll just do it this way. So look at what I want to do here. If I join this end to this end, and this end to this end, right? I'll just transfer this. I'll just only need this edge here. This is the end I need. Just transfer this point to this point. So then I place my compass at this point. I'll have this. I'll come to this point too. I'll have this. I'll just stop here. So look at what I want to do. I will now tick in from here to here. I will tick in from here to here. All together now. Then I can tick in here. So let me tick in here out to see what I'm talking about. You can see that? So I can easily just join this point here to this point here. So what I did here, I'll do the other ends too. So it is easier. Just transfer what I'm doing here. Just come to this point and I have this. So you just take your compass from here to this point, which is from here to here. Can you see that? So I'll just transfer, I'll join the diagonals from this point. Look at what I'm showing you from here to this point. And the same from here to here. So I'll join the diagonal this way. Can you see that? Then I'll do the same thing here too. Just do the same thing, proceed from here to this point. Bring it down to this point. Bring this down to this point. And close it up here to this point. Right? And also bring this one down to this point. So if you join diagonals too, you have this, right? So to get the center point, you just have to join the diagonal too. This is where the center point is. And you join diagonal here too, this is where the center point is. And draw your X and Y Z across that point. Come here too, you do the same thing too. So you just come here and do this. Can you see that? So I can, from this point, draw a line that will touch here. And from this point, draw a line that will touch here. So what I just need is just this point, which I'm going to transfer downward this way. Which I'm going to what? Transfer downward this way. So with the help of my compass, if I place it here, into this end, I'm going to get what I want. Then if I come here too, do the same thing too from this point. I'll get what I want, but I'll just stop here. This is where I'll stop. That is why I'll just draw my line that will connect from this point to this point, from this point to this point. Then taking the rest here. I'm taking it out. So I'll just here take this touch here. Now the rest here is the figure that we place at the center here will block here, so I don't have to stress myself with this aspect here to save time. Now the next thing I'm going to do, remember that if I join this end to this end, right, is meeting here. That is the center. So I'm going to take the center point upward. Can you see that? So what is the height that we have? The height will just be the same height from this point to this point here. How good? So when I place it here, I'll just mark. So that point is where I'm going to draw my horizontal line this way and this way. So this is where they are meeting. So if you look at the top now, we have a diameter of what? 64, just like the previous one we did. So I'll measure 32. And I'm going to measure what? 32. So from 0 to 32, I'll place at the center point. I'm going to mark. Alright, I'll mark 32, 32, 32, and 32. So I'll use to form a box. I'll form the box this way. To take this way and form this box. This way. This way. This way. And this way. Then I'll join the diagonals. Right? Then I'll join from this end to this end. And from this end to this end. This is where they are meeting. Can you see that? Now from this point that I measured from, remember I measured from here, I'll do the same thing too. So I'm going to draw my line this way because it's touching at that top there. I'll draw my line this way and I'll also do it this way. So if I bring this point down, it's touching it at this point here, right? If I bring it down too, it's touching the line at this point here. So I'll just draw my horizontal line across this point like this and like this. So they are meeting, this line is meeting this line at this point here. Similarly, I'll do the same thing here too. If I bring this one down, it's meeting at this point here, somewhere around here. So from that point, I'll do the same thing too. So it's meeting the same line at this point. Can you see? This is 1, this is 2. This is coming down here. This is 3. So we've not gotten the 3 yet. Just for me to bring this point down to touch here. So from that point, that will be where 3 will be placed. So here is 3. And where this and this meet is what? It's 4. So this is where I'm going to bring out my box. Let me just bring something out so to save us stress. just bring it out. Not necessarily do yours that way. So now I'll start putting in my figure there. So if I place it this way here to this point, I'll have this. If I come to this point too, place it here. I'll have this. If I come here too, to this point here, I'll have this. And if I come here too, to this point here, I'll have this, which I am going to thicken out this way. So this is what we have. Now the internal one, can we see what the internal one is? You can actually check it from this part here. Since we're having a set 32, right? We're giving it to be what? 32. So the inner one, the inner circle below here is given to be 32 diameter, right? And the ball here is given to be what? Given to be 60. Can you see that? So what I'm going to do is I'll take half of 60, which will be 30. I'll measure it on my meter rule, 0 to 3, 30. And I'll come to this point and I'm going to mark 30 here, 30 here, 30 here, and 30 here. I'll bring it out to form a box this way. I'll come here. What I'm doing, forming a box. Here too, forming the box. Here too, forming the box. Here too, forming the box. Can you see that? And from that box I have formed, look at this line coming down here, meeting this line here. I'll draw a line, then we'll touch here. And I'll draw another line from here, I'll touch here. So they are meeting at this point here. So this is where I will draw another circle. So if I place it here, take it to this end, I'll draw another circle. Can you see that? This point here, I'll come here too, I'll do the same thing. I'll come here too, do the same thing too here. I'll come here too, do the same thing too here. So let me taking it out. So after you've done that from here, right? So the next thing is, it says deep. You can check it, 38 millimeter deep. That's when you're going to get the counter ball. 38 millimeter deep. Is that taken? So what I'm going to do is, from this end here, the second one here, I will project a vertical line downward, which I already have here, and I'll measure 50. Right? I'm going to measure what? I'm going to measure 38 downward, 38. So from this point, 0, this is 38 here. This is where it is. So this is where I'm going to do the other guy. Repeat the same thing I have done there. Is that taken? Just from this point, you draw your line this way, and from this point, you draw another line this way. Can you see that? And you measure from this end to this end is from this end to this end. Hope you can see that. Right? So from that end here, where is it here? From here, I'll mark, and from here also, I'll mark. So where they meet, and where they meet, I'll draw a line this way, and I'll also draw another line this way. So they're meeting here. So join the diagonal from here to this point. Can you see that? So if I should place it at this end here, see the logic? And I take it to this point, and I'll get this. This is where it is. Hope you can see that. So let me thicken it out. Hope you can see that. So we proceed. Now this other guy also, I'll just transfer the point for the outer one. Just join diagonal, which I already have for the outer one. This is the outer one here. Take it down to touch this. Come for the outer one also here. Take it down to touch this. Is that again? So this is what I have. Then I'll come to where these three meet, where 4 is, where 3 and 1 meet, which is 4. If I place it at that point here, then I'll be able to get this. Then I'll come here too, at this point here. Then at this point here, I can easily just move this. I can easily just move this from this point to touch this. Then move this at this point to touch this. Right? Now taking from here, I'll take this from this point. To touch here. Then I take from this point to touch here. Can you see that? Then I should taking out this point here. So that is not the end. Let me take it up a little bit. So from here, I can bring this down here this way. So what I'm doing, this outside line here, can just take it down. Right? I'll come here to this outside line here. I'll take it down. So the center point that we have here is this. If I move it from here to touch here, then I bring it down also here to touch here. Then I take it to the other end here, this line here, take it to the other end here. So what I'll simply do is this. What I'll simply do after I've moved from here to here, so where is meeting this center point here, I drew this line here. So this is meeting the center point. Center line is meeting this at this point here. All together. So I'll now measure what? I'll measure the distance from here to here. The distance from this point to this point. That is what I'm going to measure from that point downward here. So this is where it is meeting. Can you see that? That is where it is what? It is meeting. I measured from here, this point, from this center point here. Right? From that center point, I'm going to measure. So that's where I will now take my line. And I'm going to draw this way. So you can see that. And I'll draw this way. So this is where the line meets this. Hope you can see what I am doing here. So just the same measurement that I measured, the same rule. You see, I brought this from here, it's coming down to this point. So I'll just measure from this point to this end here, which I'll come to this point, or from here to this end here. Right to this end here, which I'll come to this point, and I'll mark to this level, here, and here. So let's close that up this way. Here also, close it up this way. Then here also, close it up this way. Then here also, close it up to this way. Because this line from here to this one here. This is where they are meeting here. Where this line meeting with this is here. So I'll just from this point and I'll draw a diagonal here and up this way. And transfer the center point, the diagonal is just from here to here. So you can transfer it down from the outside one here. It is here. Transfer this one too from the outside point here. It is here. Just to avoid to use our number of lines there. So if I should place it at this point, I'll gauge it. And I'll be having this coming from here. I'll stop here. Then this one too coming from here. I'll stop here, which I'm going to thicken out this way. So we've done this guide here. Now the next thing is you can look at closely is all these circles that are placed at the different corners. So what I will simply do is, we already know where the center of that is, which is this center here, this center here, and this center here. So it doesn't take us much trouble. The radius they are given to be diameter is 26. You can see that 4/26. So we can see 1, 2, 3, but the third one we cannot see. So I'll just take half of 26, which is 13. So I'll just take from 0 to 13, and I'll place it here, and I'll mark 13, 13, 13, and 13. I'll do that for all points. 13, 13, 13, and 13. Here also, let me just move this first to avoid confusion. So if I should come here, I have this point. It's the same thing here. Same thing at this point here. Here too. This and this. Here too. This point to this point. This point to this point. This one. This one. Can you see that? And now let me do the same thing here too. So this point here we have, can just transfer the point here, here, and you can use the same measurement you used from this point to this point here. Then I'll mark, and I'll mark, which I am going to close. Can you see that? So in this plan here, you're going to draw your circles. So from here, if I should take my rule and I'll just connect from this end to this end, and from this end to this end here, this is where they are meeting. So let's see what happens. So if I place it here, I'll have this. If I come here too, I'll have this. If I come here too, I'll have this. If I come here too, I have this. So I'm taking that out. You can see that. So we've done this aspect here. We'll do the same thing here, here, just the same way, all together. So let's proceed. You connect from this end to this end, then from this end to this end. Even here also from this end to this end, and from this end to this end. So all those points, you just use your compass, you place it here, and you get this. You come here too. Get this. Come here. You get this. You come here. You get this. So I'm taking it out this way. So the last one of the list, the same thing from this end. You get this. From this end. You get this. From here. You get this. And from here. You get this. So taking that out. So this is what we have here. Right? Now what else again do we have here? We've successfully reproduced everything we have. We've successfully reproduced the figure that is displayed at the right hand side of the screen in isometric projection. Right? This hole is the hole you're seeing, or this hole. There are four of them. The fourth one you cannot see them because of this figure here. And this shape you see here, that is how it is. You see, why we might draw a circular shape because of what is the diameter, right? And it is coming down to this point here. So if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share the video. Thanks for watching.